that street, and then they're all around that apartment. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to have to spin around here because we can't
shopping strip. Go ahead, Jim. Let's get another update from you.
That's right. You're seeing they're pulled into a shopping center there. It's Chicken Express, I believe, is that restaurant. I really can't tell. But I believe that is a Chicken Express there, and it looks like it's on. It's going to be on Lindsay Street. It's going to be the street right in front of there. So it's going to be where the Chicken Express is on Lindsay. I'll try to get across street here, but you see the shopping mall across there. So again, Amanda, I just don't know exactly what's going on for sure, but we'll just keep tracking it. We're going to stay with it, and looks like they possibly have I don't know if I want to call that a suspect or if they're just questioning somebody right now, but they did pull up on that car and ask that individual to get out. So again, this is on Lindsay Street at the Chicken Express. I believe that's what it is, if people know where that is. So they are questioning this individual right now, Amanda, and more police are showing up as we're talking here. So it's we'll just see what plays out here, Amanda. That's about all we can do.
Yeah, I would like to stay with your shot, Jim, because I want to see if they're just questioning this person and then let him go, or if they're going to take him into handcuffs, which would give everybody down in that Norman area some relief, because everybody's been on edge. We've heard from viewers who live in that neighborhood who were concerned when they saw a heavy police presence there. They counted more than 20 police vehicles at one time with their weapons drawn, looking for a gunman after one person was shot. The area where the person was shot, it looks like a residential area, a neighborhood about 2.5 miles southeast of the Norman OU campus there. But it looks like they are questioning someone. Let's get another update from Jim Gardner up in the air.
Well, that's right, Amanda. That's what's going on right now. If we can pull back, I can give you a cross street here. So that's Lindsay. That's just in front of there. Let's go. Let me see. I believe that's going to be. I'm not sure what that street is. What's the big street to the left, Greg? Biloxi Drive. So Biloxi Drive is going to be to the east, and to the west, if we go to the west just a little bit, the other main street is, let me see here, that's going to be 77. So between 77 and Biloxi Drive on Lindsay at the Chicken Express, that's where they have ended up questioning this individual. So people might want to just be aware and just kind of maybe stay away from this area for a moment as they question this individual. But they did have the armored vehicle pull up on him, and other police cars pulled up on him, and they told him to get out of the car, and they are questioning him right now. So this is where we stand right now, Amanda. So that's what we're just waiting on to find out if this is somebody of interest or not. We'll let you know here in a minute.
Very quick work there by police. Still want to stay with your shot, Jim, as we try to get our bearings on exactly what is all taking place right now in the Norman area. Jim, as you look at the current scene where they are questioning somebody who may or may not be involved in this shooting, but the armored vehicle left from the shooting scene and went right there to that scene. As you look at this shot right now, can you give us perspective on how far this is away from where the shooting took place?
5 minutes away.
Well, Amanda, let me see. It's not that far. I'm looking back behind my shoulder. I would estimate maybe a mile from that scene is about as far as it is from where all the police presence was in the 1800 block of Twisted Oak there to this location right now. Is probably just about a mile, maybe a little more, but it's not that far, Amanda.
Okay, so we do have reason to believe that the two scenes are connected, where police and the armored vehicle is now leaving, Jim. Can you give us another update on that suspect or the person in question who they were talking to?
All right, I'm trying to get around here and see if it looks like he's still standing there. The police are still with him, but I don't believe, I can't tell. I don't believe he's in handcuffs or anything. Of course, I can't. So he is moving his hands and talking to police, and like I said, you saw the armored vehicle leave, but they are still there questioning this person. We'll look and see if the vehicle is headed back to the original scene, Amanda. There you see the armored vehicle right now going back, and I believe he is going back to the original scene here. As we roll around here, let me roll around, and we'll see where he ends up.
And Jim, as we're looking at this scene, I know you were showing us the apartment complex. Is that just on the other side of this neighborhood that we're talking about where the shooting happened?
Yes, it is. It's just right across from it. Like I said, so I don't know. I'm sure Tevis has more information than I do, Amanda, but I don't know if the shooting happened at that apartment complex, because we do have police in that apartment complex. And I got you there, Mason. And all the police cars are just across the road from that apartment complex. So, you know, I really don't know right now. Kind of looking at everybody, it's hard to tell, but I would almost guess that it happened in that apartment complex. That's just my speculation, Amanda.
And maybe the fear is that the shooter then ran into the neighborhood, which it's all very close. Okay, there's the armored vehicle back in the neighborhood. Jim, if you want to go and also take a look and see if that person of interest, or just that, it could have even been a witness that was interviewed by police, if you want to take a look at them, I don't know if we can go back to Tevis's shot and we can get an update from the ground as to what's been going on there. Tevis Hillis has been on the ground there off of Twisted Oak Drive, Twisted Oak Circle. Tevis, give us an update. What's happened there in the last couple of minutes?
Well, I did just speak to someone that lives in this neighborhood. They sent me video that they got earlier around 2 p.m. where they saw officers running with rifles towards one of these houses. This is a very deep neighborhood where police are lined up and down the street. I want you to show you right behind me. We know someone was shot. We do not know exactly, because I know Jim's talking about an apartment complex. I'm looking at this house where police are completely surrounding it. The ambulance just moved towards this house. So we're questioning police, you know, what is happening at this house right off to Twisted Oak Circle right there. I've been trying to speak with neighbors that are all coming out of their house going, what's going on? We need to know. We do know a shooting happened. We don't know exactly where it took place. We know police are, okay, I just want to thank you for my photographer. He's telling me the armored vehicles are back now in this neighborhood. They're trying to get through, but they are stuck right here. They're trying to get all the way through this neighborhood. Here we go, they're going in. Now, last time we saw them, they were leaving the neighborhood, heading towards that Chicken Express with their lights and sirens on. Now they're coming back without lights and sirens back to this neighborhood. This neighborhood is completely surrounded with police and tactical vehicles. We do know the ambulance just moved up towards this house moments ago. We do not know exactly what is happening now. We do know a shooting occurred. Someone was shot. Someone was taken to the hospital. At this time, they do not have a suspect in custody. I know police are supposed to be getting here where they are able to speak to the media. We have a lot of neighbors out of their houses going, what's going on? Are we safe? We do not know at this exact moment. Of course, we're trying to ask police. Amanda?
A lot of people on edge, a lot of people on edge down there in Norman, and understandably so, as we were hopeful that an arrest may have been made. It didn't look like it, as the armored vehicle then left after police questioned somebody. So that could have just been a vehicle that matched a description that they were looking for. We'll work to get that figured out on if that person really had any connection to this. But as of right now, we don't have any reason to believe why, or in fact that they would have any connection to this, because still a very active scene. Police are telling people and residents to stay inside, but they're also telling everybody else, don't go near this area. Tevis, go ahead.
Well, Amanda, we keep on looking up and down this street where we're asking questions, what's going on? This street is completely packed up and down with officers' lights on. Norman police are on scene. We have an ambulance on scene. One of OU student told me that they saw an ambulance come and go. We believe that's the person that was injured in this shooting. Police are walking in and out of this house right now. The tactical vehicle is open. Police are walking up and down. A lot of neighbors are still out going, hey, what's going on? Can anyone give us any information? We know the person that's able to speak to the media should be on scene any minute, and that's where we're going to be able to ask the most questions of what's happening, what can we tell neighbors right now. But again, we know a shooting happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Someone was taken to the hospital, but that's all we know right now, Amanda. Again, still a very active scene out here in Norman right off 24th Avenue.
This has all been going on for a little more than 45 minutes. A shot now from Jim Gardner up in Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Tevis Hillis, thank you for that update. I want to bring Jim back into this because, Jim, just a short time ago, we saw police questioning someone. Do we know what ended up happening there?
That's right. When we left, he appeared to not be in handcuffs. He appeared to just be talking with police. And like I said, the armored vehicle left, and there was a couple of police officers still there with him, but they were not. Didn't look like they were just questioning him. It just maybe like you said, his vehicle may have matched a description of a vehicle that left the neighborhood or something. But right now, I believe they have left from that scene up there and came back to this scene. So the search still goes on for the gunman that was involved in this shooting. Like I said, the suspect is still outstanding. One person, I was told, was transported. We're just kind of watching the police movement to try to get an idea if they got if they've got an idea of where this person might possibly be or anything like that, Amanda. But you're looking at the scene as we're looking at it, so we'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim, you have covered so many incidents with police, so many standoffs. When you look at this, we obviously know they're looking for a gunman, but does this give you any indication, looking at the scene, that there is an active standoff going on?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out, Amanda. So if you look at that apartment complex, you can see police officers back on that street right there. There's one officer right there. He appears to be looking down to the south, so he's pointing to the south, so that's north at the top of the screen. So he's pointing south out of that apartment complex. You see another police officer over there, and he's kind of pointed to the east. So the question is, did the shooting take place in that neighborhood, and then the suspect ran to the apartment complex? So that's what we're trying to figure out. You see another police officer right there. So you have this apartment complex kind of surrounded to where the officers can see the streets. So if anybody comes out on that street or whatever, they can see them. So that's where we're standing right now. But it doesn't look like they're doing an active search or anything at this time. Like I said, the armored car came back. You saw the SWAT team members coming in and out of the armored car like just moments ago. So again, there's some more officers there. So this entire area is basically just cordoned off. They got officers all around this apartment complex, and they don't have really anybody to the south of that neighborhood. They're all on that street, but there's really nobody to the south of that neighborhood. So all the interest is pointed to the north, that apartment complex, around that apartment complex, and maybe some of the houses over that you're seeing right there. But there's an awful lot of officers here, Amanda. It's just all around this area. So. But like I said, as far as an active search, we haven't seen dogs out. We haven't seen officers walking. So, we'll just stay here and just see what unfolds here. As minutes as hour. Hopefully it's over in a short time, but it could take hours for this to play out. But we're here. We'll keep tracking it. We'll keep you updated, Amanda.
Yeah, Jim, I'm going to come right back to you here in a moment. When I come back to you, I'll be curious to know about how many officers you think are out there. But right now, I want to go back out on the ground to Tevis Hillis with movement there in the neighborhood off of Twisted Oak Circle. Tevis?
Hey, Amanda, this is what we know right now. We know someone was shot. We don't know exactly where they were shot, but they were taken to the hospital. This has been a pretty interesting scene. We have seen cop cars come flying in and out. Right now, we see a lot of cop cars trying to get towards this house right now. So I know Jim has been talking about an apartment. I'm seeing this house where officers are getting in and out of those armored vehicles, and they're surrounding this house. I'm out of breath right now. I'm sorry, I've been trying to talk to neighbors. One neighbor tells me he's seen cops running towards this house around 2 o'clock this afternoon. I am speaking to someone. Can you just introduce yourself and tell me kind of what you saw?
Yeah, I'm Nick Armstrong. I've been kind of driving around. I just got back from class, and as soon as I came back maybe around 1:30 or so, I tried to come down here, and there was already cops lined up. There was people over here as well. They were already coming back over here, and they let them through, let them come back. But they've mostly been kind of over here in this back corner, nothing really in the apartment, but they're still kind of going around it.
And you do live at those apartment complexes. Tell me what those apartment complexes are. Are you allowed to go back in?
So far, we haven't been allowed to go back in. They did every now and then, but I think right now they've kind of got it blocked off. That's about all I know about it, though.
Anything else that you saw that was pretty interesting? I know you guys are all sitting out here going, what's going on? What can we find out?
The only other thing is we were driving kind of down Lindsay, and we saw an individual on Chicken Express, like by it. I guess they had him in handcuffs kind of sitting on there, but that's about it. That's about all I know.
Absolutely. Thank you for talking with us. We'll bring you updates as soon as we get them. Of course, I do want to show you all down this neighborhood. Really appreciate your time. Down this neighborhood, we are seeing cops moving in quickly where we know that they're trying to get into this house, it looks like. We're so far back, we're asked to stand back here so we're safe, but we're seeing armored vehicle open up, shut, and they're trying to back into this house, it looks like right now. We do see a lot of cop cars surrounding this area. There is someone in that red truck trying to get through this neighborhood. It looks like cops are going to ask them to please move back. But again, we know someone was transported to the hospital. There was a shooting. This is a very active scene, and we know the suspect is not in custody right now, Amanda.
And that is the concern at this hour, is that a gunman is still on the loose down there in that Norman neighborhood off of Twisted Oak Circle, and that also impacts the apartment complex right near there where police officers are as well. Those apartment complex, Turnberry Apartments right there. So a very active scene. Tevis, before I let you go and go back up to Jim, can you let me know, the armored vehicle, I mean, are officers actually going into a house?
Ronald Reagan School, and what's the other one?
Okay, you might hear Tevis talk about Ronald Reagan Elementary. Okay. So that is an elementary school that's literally a street over. Go ahead, Tevis. Tevis, are you getting an update on the schools? Yes.
I was just asking someone who has been bicycling around the neighborhood, you know, what schools are around. He says Ronald Reagan Elementary School, correct, sir? Yeah. We are asking right now, Norman Public Schools, if that school is on some type of lockdown, because this is a very heavy police presence where school is just about a block away. Sir, can you also tell me the other school that's close by? Kennedy School is about a mile away. Of course, we have people calling Norman Public Schools right now, asking those questions. Hey, what is going on? Are you all on lockdown? What is the situation that's going on in your schools? Once we get an update, I'll bring it to you live on air, Amanda.
Yeah, please do. In fact, we may have already made some calls and just waiting to get word. So as soon as we learn anything, Tevis, thank you. We'll pass it on to our viewers because that is a concern. Elementary school still going on at this hour. And the Ronald Reagan Elementary School, that is literally just like a street away from the neighborhood as you're taking a live look at the scene there. And Tevis, before I heard you start talking about the schools, what I was wondering is if officers are actually going up to a home or right now they just keeping their distance.
Yeah. You know, Amanda, I am so far away. I'm about 2 to 3 blocks away from the house that they're circling. I can't get any closer, but it looks like they're walking in and out of the neighborhood. If you don't mind, could we zoom in on the left side where it looks like a couple police are walking out of that house right now? They have been making a larger and larger perimeter around this area where the ambulance moved closer, police have moved closer. So we're trying to see which house it actually is, but we are seeing police right now outside of that house, Amanda.
And then they're not taking any type of defensive stance or anything. So at the moment, they must not feel like their safety is in jeopardy or they wouldn't just be standing there, even though there is the armored vehicle around there. So we are still working to get details and to fill in the blanks for you. But just after 2 o'clock is when we got word that a shooting had happened. The original word we got was in that neighborhood, and that's the area that we did see an ambulance leave with a shooting victim. We don't know the condition of the victim. We don't know where that person was shot. What we can tell you, though, is that the gunman has not been caught, and that is the big concern right now. As this is in an area, it's about 2.5 miles east of OU's campus, off of 1800 block of Twisted Oak Circle, as Tevis said, and right near the Turnberry Apartments, and there is some police presence around there as well. Police did question one individual. We brought that to you live here on News 9, and we saw them questioning that individual. We never saw that individual being placed in handcuffs, so it could be a case as they were just looking for a witness or a case of mistaken identity. But no word that a suspect has been caught, no word if any gunman's in custody, and still a very active scene with more police cars going into that neighborhood. Let's get one more check up in the air with Jim Gardner up in Bob Mills, Sky News 9 to get an update. Jim, were you able to figure out about how many officers you think are down there on the ground?
There's a lot, Amanda. There's a lot. I would say possibly 15 to 20 just where we are. And I've noticed that the neighborhood to the north, they are now got officers on a street that's just north of that apartment complex, watching that street also. So again, we had some more police just arrived. They are coming into this apartment complex, and I don't know if there may be a shift change going on too. It looks like some of the police officers that they are pulling up and replacing are driving off. But again, there is a very large police presence, man. There's a lot of police out here around this apartment complex, and it looks like everything is going north from where the armored vehicle is and the police officers there are with that house. Then the perimeter is moving north from that apartment complex. And like you said, if we can swing around, Greg, and come off my nose, we'll show you the school we were talking about. And we'll get a shot here, and we'll show you. Tilt up, there you go. There's the people waiting to pick their children up at the school. So it's not that far away, Amanda. It's just maybe a couple of blocks, 2 or 3 blocks away, but people are still picking up their kids. The buses are being loaded. There is 2 police officers there, and in the field as the kids are getting on the bus and the parents are picking their kids up. But it appears everything is normal over here as far as the school goes. But again, there is a large presence, and like I said, it appears to be expanding to the north from that apartment complex and where that house is.
Yep, parents are definitely concerned. That's the word we're getting there as they are trying to pick up their children, and they know it is time to pick up their kids at Reagan Elementary School. We did also hear from a teacher inside that school telling us the school is on lockdown. Now, they may let some of the students leave if parents are trying to pick up their kids, but obviously there's a fine line right there where they really have to make sure all the kids are safe, and they have to make sure that there's no threat around that area. We saw in Jim Schott as he was over the school that there are police officers stationed there strategically at the school interest and a long line, as well of parents wanting to get their children out and away from that danger, because this is very close to that neighborhood right there off Twisted Oak Circle. We're going to keep a very close eye on this. Obviously, this is a developing situation. It is an active scene in Norman, and we want to make sure that we bring you anything as any changes happen. So if there's any movement at all, whether we think that they found a suspect or they're talking to somebody, we'll break in. We're going to bring that to you live right here on News 9. So if you keep it here, we know if you live in that area, you're definitely concerned. And right now, we have no word that they have a gunman in custody. Active search still going on. Keep it right here on News 9. We'll also bring you a push alert for our News 9 app.